The fifth section of the Heart of England Way takes us from the Nelson Inn to Lichfield Cathedral. The city of Lichfield centres around the cathedral that was established by Bishop Chad in AD 669. The dogs and I walked this route, which is 14.5 kilometres, in January on a cold and frosty day. As you can see, it's a cold day, still -1 or 2, there's quite a lot of ice, and we are heading down that way. No sheep in this field, even though there's electric fencing set up, so the boys can have a good run. So this is just a quiet lane, forward lane. So I've left the dogs off because there's no traffic on it yet, keeping a careful eye out. Anyone who's watched any of my older videos will know that Danny, the black and white spaniel, is a rescue. I've had him about 3 months now. He is really improved outdoors. As you can see, I can let him off most of the time now, and I know he'll come back to me. However, this walk takes us through Lichfield, right past Lichfield Cathedral. That's where we'll peel off the Heart of England Way and make our return route back. So that will be more challenging for Danny, because obviously he'll have to be on the lead and there'll be people around. And he's definitely still quite nervous of people. But what an improvement in 3 months, bless him. Big shout out to Almost Home Dog Rescue, who is where I got Danny from, who rescued him and his siblings from a really horrible situation. On these little back lanes, the gritter machine doesn't come out, so they're quite icy in places. This stretch is not so bad, but there's been some real slippy icy bits. We are now walking along Abnell's Lane, along a holloway or sunken road. You can see the tree roots and sandstone, and we'll also be passing near to Erasmus Darwin's Botanical Garden. He was Charles Darwin's grandfather and a poet, horticulturalist, and penned the idea of survival of the fittest following his observations of nature. So we've come, I don't know, a kilometre or so along this pretty quiet lane, but the boys will be very pleased that we're going to turn right just to the left hand side of that gate post. The sign on the gate tells me this is Pipe Green Trustland. We're pretty close to Lichfield now, and in fact I suspect those must be the cathedral spires. If not, I'll check what it is. We're heading straight on that way. That is the western bypass that we need to cross. So obviously going to have the boys on short leads. I'm hoping we'll find some gaps in the traffic. We made it over the road. Not quite so picturesque, but you can see this is coming into the edge of Lichfield now. We're about to go into the park. We're going to turn left and we should be able to then see the cathedral. 700 AD saw the first consecration of a cathedral in Lichfield, where St Chad's remains lie, as well as the St Chad's Gospels. Today's cathedral was restored after the damage in the Civil War and was finished by Sir George Gilbert Scott in the 19th century. It is the only English medieval cathedral to have 3 spires. There are 160 ornate carved figures of kings, queens and saints around the cathedral. We didn't get to see the inside, but that is spectacular as well. So we've come away from the cathedral and we are going down here, interestingly picking up the Two Saints Way again. Come from down there along Bishop's Walk, past some tree surgeons, and we have now entered suburbia. We're going to go right here around the corner of that wall. We've come along through some very quiet suburban road and now spin round. We're heading down this slightly narrow lane. Just crossed the eastern bypass, which was quite busy. We managed to get across. Now we're going to head on this way and down and past the cemetery. It's past the cemetery, can't really see it through here. And we're heading down here. This is a funny sort of track. It twists and turns. I think it's following the path of an old road, but it's just sort of slightly to my right and completely overgrown. This next section of the return route is not as well used as some of the other paths. I'll just point out later why. So I'm just going to make a point here and circle on the map where this signpost is to keep an eye out for, so you don't turn left by mistake. The farmer has very naughtily fenced over the access there, which I've stepped over, and this here is the footpath, which again he's fenced over, so I will try and report this to Staffordshire County Council, because that is the way through. So we're just heading towards the A51. You might be able to hear the traffic in the background, where we're going to cross that road. And that is our last main road, thank goodness, of this walk. It's been a little bit tricky with the road crossings and the farmer trying to fence off 2 little fields. But we're getting there. This
This was our second issue of the route. The footpath was washed away by the weir, but we made our way round here where I'm pointing to, and again I've reported this to the council.
This is Bilsden Brook that we're walking alongside. As you can see, the footpath doesn't really get much use, probably because it's so inaccessible at the other end. Bailey's happy anyway. So we're leaving the brook behind us. We've just got on to Cross Inns Lane, something like that. I'll double check and put it on the screen, but I'm glad we didn't walk all the way back down the main road and do a massive loop to get onto this lane, and that we were obstinate and followed the footpath. Walk along here for about 250 metres, and then we're turning left, and apparently we're going to rejoin the Two Saints Way. There we go, there's where we are turning onto the Two Saints Way. Oh look, a proper gate. I have to climb through any undergrowth. So this is the church of St Bartholomew, and this hamlet is called Farewell, and we're just following this footpath around the side of the church. So we've just come over a stile there. Now we're heading this way, and we'll be getting on the lane in a minute and heading back to Creswell Green and the pub. The Nelson Inn is the start and the finish point. Unfortunately, because the dogs are so muddy, we're not going to be able to go in.
Let me know in the comments if you try this route out yourself, and I look forward to sharing the next leg of the Heart of England Way with you.